A marathon mindset is deeper than motivation, deeper than hype, deeper than waking up one morning and saying you're ready to change. It's a lifestyle, a commitment, a decision you make every single day, even on the days when you don't feel like showing up. It's understanding that the journey you're on ain't meant to be easy, quick, or guaranteed. It's meant to mold you, break you open, teach you discipline, and show you what you're really made of when comfort gets stripped away. Most people treat life like a sprint. They want fast results, shortcuts, applause before they earn it, and success before they've built the structure to hold it. But when you're running a marathon, you start moving different. You're not rushing. You're not chasing validation. You're not comparing your lane with anybody else's because you already know the race you're running is designed uniquely for you. You stop getting discouraged when things don't happen overnight because you know the greatest things you'll ever build in this life take time, consistency, and a level of patience that most people don't have. The marathon mindset teaches you to think long term. It makes you step away from temporary pleasure and focus on permanent elevation. You stop looking for the easy way out and you start looking for the right way through. You start studying the game instead of jumping in blind. You start investing in your growth before you invest in anything else. You begin to understand that success is not a moment, it's a process, a slow, steady, strategic climb where every step, every mistake, every sacrifice is shaping you into the person you need to be. You learn that setbacks aren't signs to quit. They're signs to tighten up. Losses don't make you weak. They sharpen your vision. Delays don't deny you. They develop you. When you have a marathon mentality, you stop fearing failure because you finally understand failure is just education wrapped in a challenge. It's not there to destroy you. It's there to prepare you for stages you haven't stepped on yet. Everybody wants to win until they realize winning requires stamina. Stamina in your character, in your discipline, in your habits, in your mindset. Anybody can start strong, but only the ones with endurance finish strong. And endurance ain't built through comfort. It's built through struggle, through pressure, through those nights when quitting looks easier than continuing. But even then, you keep going. Even when the world doesn't clap, even when you're tired, even when you're unsure, you keep moving because you know every step forward counts, even the small ones. The marathon mindset also teaches you ownership. Ownership of your actions, your dreams, your mistakes, your growth. You stop blaming people. You stop looking for rescue. You stop needing approval. You realize the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the work you haven't done yet. And once you take accountability for everything in your life, you take back your power. You stop being a passenger and become the driver. One of the hardest parts of the marathon approach is letting go of what no longer fits your future. Some people, habits, environments, and thoughts that were comfortable in your old life can't survive in the new one. Growth demands separation, sometimes not out of anger, but out of alignment. When you're focused on the long game, you protect your energy, your peace, and your direction because you know your future depends on it. And the truth is, the marathon mindset doesn't guarantee ease, but it does guarantee transformation. You don't stay the same person, you evolve. You think clearer, move smarter, love deeper, and hustle with purpose instead of ego. You stop being controlled by emotions and start being guided by vision. You start valuing the grind, not just the goal. Every day you wake up and decide to take another step, you're proving something powerful, not to the world, but to yourself. You're proving you won't fold, you won't break, you won't settle. You're proving that your dreams are worth the time it takes to reach them. Step by step, day by day, the journey shapes you. And when you finally look back, you realize the victory wasn't just crossing the finish line. The victory was becoming the person who never gave up on the way there. That's the marathon. Ownership over everything starts with one uncomfortable truth. Your life is in your hands, whether you want it to be or not. Every decision, every habit, every move you make is writing your story. The moment you stop blaming people, stop pointing fingers, stop waiting for someone to fix your situation, that's the moment you step into real power. Nothing changes until you take responsibility for where you are and who you're becoming. Because life doesn't hand you control, you claim it. Owning your life means owning your flaws too. Your mistakes, your bad choices, your wasted time, all of it. Most people run from accountability because it exposes where they've been slipping. It forces them to look at their role in their own problems. But that's exactly why ownership is the foundation of elevation. When you accept responsibility, you stop repeating cycles. You stop making excuses. You stop letting circumstances dictate your future. You start moving with intention instead of reacting out of survival. Ownership is also about owning your vision, not waiting for the world to validate it. When you believe in what you're building, you don't need applause to keep going. You don't need permission to dream big. You don't need approval to take a risk. Most people talk about success, but they never commit to the grind that comes with it. They want the reward without the responsibility. But the ones who make it, they're the ones who show up every day like it's on them, because it is. No team, no support, no hype, just focus, discipline, and belief. You start to understand that nobody's obligated to save you. Nobody owes you opportunities. Nobody is required to see your worth before you see it yourself. Ownership means you create your own doors when people shut theirs. You build your own lane when the world ignores you. You turn your pain into power instead of letting it poison your mindset. When you take control of your journey, even your losses become investments, lessons, data, strategy. Nothing is wasted when you take ownership. When you move like everything is your responsibility, you stop depending on motivation. You depend on discipline. Motivation fades. Discipline finishes the race. Ownership is showing up on the days when you feel uninspired, tired, drained, or overlooked. Ownership is correcting yourself when you slip. Ownership is staying committed even when the results aren't visible yet. That level of consistency builds a version of you that pressure can't break and doubt can't stop. You start holding yourself to a higher standard. You watch your circle closer. You say no more. You protect your peace because your growth depends on it. You stop letting people drag you into their chaos. You stop entertaining negativity. You stop waiting for someone to bring value and start becoming the value. When you hold yourself accountable, you naturally shift out of spaces that no longer match your mindset. Ownership also means owning your gifts. Too many people hide their potential because they fear being judged or misunderstood. But your talent is just your responsibility. Your ideas, your skills, your creativity, they're meant to be developed, not wasted. When you claim ownership, you stop shrinking. You stop dimming your light. You stop settling for good enough. You start demanding excellence from yourself because you know you're capable of more. And owning everything doesn't mean you have all the answers. It just means you're willing to learn, adapt, and grow. You're willing to study the game instead of complaining about it. You're willing to put in the hours nobody sees. You're willing to take risks others avoid. You're willing to bet on yourself even when it feels uncertain. That's what separates leaders from followers. The courage to take responsibility for your destiny. The truth is, the moment you claim full ownership of your life is the moment everything changes. You walk different. You think different. You move different. You stop feeling powerless. You stop feeling stuck. You stop feeling like life is happening to you. And instead, you start making life happen for you. When you take ownership over everything, you stop surviving and start building. You stop drifting and start directing. You stop waiting and start creating. That's when your real transformation begins. That's when you become unstoppable. That's when you become the version of yourself you were always meant to be. Turning pain into purpose is one of the hardest lessons life will ever force you to learn. But once you understand it, it becomes one of the most powerful tools you'll ever carry. Pain shows up in ways that shake you, break you, and push you to question everything. Your strengths, your path, your future, your worth. But there's a truth life keeps proving over and over. Pain doesn't come to stop you, it comes to sharpen you. It comes to expose the parts of you that were never meant to stay the same. It comes to strip away the comfort so you can uncover the version of yourself that only struggle can reveal. Most people run from pain. They numb it, hide it, deny it, or pretend they're unaffected. But when you numb the pain, you numb the growth too. When you avoid the wound, you avoid the wisdom. Sitting with pain takes courage. It forces you to confront the hurt, the disappointment, the betrayal, the losses you carry. And that's exactly where transformation starts. When you face what broke you, not to relive it, but to learn from it, to claim it, to take control of the story instead of letting the story control you. Turning pain into purpose means understanding that your experiences weren't random. They weren't punishment. They weren't proof that you're unlucky or unworthy. They were preparation. Every heartbreak, every failure, every closed door, every moment you felt overlooked or underestimated, that was training. That was development. That was life shaping your resilience, your empathy, your clarity, your vision. Pain teaches you what comfort never will. There's a certain strength that only comes from surviving something that should have destroyed you. When you've been through real storms, you learn how to move with humility, but also with power. You stop fearing difficulty because you've already lived through worse. You stop doubting your capacity because your past proves your strength louder than anyone's opinion. Pain builds a kind of confidence that can't be faked, a quiet, undeniable knowing that you're built for more. Purpose comes when you take that pain and do something with it. You turn it into a message, a mission, a calling. You use your story to uplift someone who feels like you once did. You use your struggles to fuel your ambition instead of killing your spirit. You channel the anger, the confusion, the heartbreak into something that pushes you forward. Purpose isn't about perfection, it's about direction. It's about using what hurts you to guide you toward what heals you. Pain also teaches you how to see people differently. When you've suffered, you gain compassion. You recognize silent battles, you understand hidden wounds, you love deeper because you know what it feels like to feel empty. You appreciate simple moments because you lived through chaos. The pain that once isolated you ends up connecting you to others in ways you never expected. And transforming pain requires patience. Healing isn't instant, and growth isn't clean. There are days when the wound still stings, days when your past still echoes, days when progress feels slow. But every day you choose to move forward, even with a heavy heart, you're proving your purpose is stronger than your pain. You're proving the story isn't over. You're proving the struggle didn't win. The reality is, some of your greatest gifts will come from your darkest moments. Some of your greatest breakthroughs will come from what tried to break you. Some of your greatest strength will come from the nights you cried but still woke up and tried again. Pain doesn't take away your power, it reveals it. It shows you what you can survive, what you can rebuild, what you can rise above. When you finally turn your pain into purpose, something shifts inside you. You walk with meaning. You speak with conviction. You live with intention. You stop seeing your past as something to hide and start seeing it as something that built you. You stop living like a victim of your story and start living like the author of it. And that's when you become dangerous, not to others, but to the limits you once accepted. The same pain that once tried to break you becomes the fire that drives you. It becomes your reason, your reminder, your fuel. It becomes the proof that you're chosen, not cursed, strong, not shattered, growing, not defeated. And once you understand that, you stop questioning why things happen to you and start realizing they happen for you. Self-belief as a weapon is one of the most powerful forces a person can carry. Because once you believe in yourself on a deep, unshakable level, the world loses its ability to limit you. Most people don't fail because they don't have talent or opportunity or potential. They fail because doubt eats them alive before the journey ever begins. They let other people's opinions weigh more than their own voice. They let fear of judgment stop them from taking the first step. They give the world a say in a destiny that was never meant to be voted on. But when you start believing in yourself for real, not pretending, not hoping, but knowing, everything shifts. Your energy changes. Your decisions change. Your life changes. Self-belief is not ego. It's not arrogance. It's ownership of your spirit. It's recognizing your gifts, your ideas, your drive, and refusing to let insecurity bury them. When you really believe in yourself, you stop asking for permission to be great. You stop shrinking so others can feel comfortable. You stop waiting for validation from people who don't even validate their own dreams. You start moving with a conviction that can't be talked out of its path. Most people don't understand how lonely this part of the journey is. Believing in yourself often means believing alone. It means waking up with goals nobody claps for yet. It means working on things nobody sees value in yet. It means betting on something inside you that others can't see. Because the vision wasn't meant for them, it was meant for you. The world usually recognizes greatness after it's already undeniable, but the ones who achieve it recognize it in themselves long before anyone else does. Self-belief is a weapon because it protects you from the noise, the doubt, the negativity, the pressure. When you truly trust yourself, people can talk, criticize, misjudge, misunderstand. None of it stops your momentum. You don't fold when the crowd disagrees. You don't pause when the results are slow. You don't break when people walk away. You carry on because your belief is bigger than your environment. It's bigger than your feelings. It's bigger than the circumstances you're fighting. And belief isn't built through comfort. It's built through battles. Belief gets stronger every time you fail and get back up. Every time you feel fear, but act anyway. Every time you achieve something you once thought was impossible. Belief grows through endurance, through the long nights, the sacrifices, the setbacks, the self-doubt you push through. Each challenge you survive becomes proof that you're capable of more than you've been telling yourself. There comes a moment where you realize nobody is coming to crown you. Nobody is coming to hand you the future you want. That's when self-belief becomes your fuel. You wake up knowing it's on you. And instead of feeling overwhelmed, you feel empowered because now you're not waiting, you're creating. You're not begging, you're building. You're not hoping, you're committing. When you believe in yourself, you start doing things differently. You aim higher, you take risks, you speak with purpose, you walk into rooms with presence, you stop negotiating with your dreams, you stop settling for people who don't respect your growth, you stop choosing comfort over calling, your whole mindset rises. And when your mindset rises, your life follows. Self-belief also changes how you see failure. You stop taking it personal. You stop letting it define you. You view failure as information instead of identity. You learn from it, adjust, and return stronger. That's why belief is dangerous, because it creates resilience. It makes you unstoppable. You become someone who cannot be broken by setbacks because you've learned how to rebuild every single time. People will doubt you. They'll question you. They'll project their limitations onto you, but when your belief is solid, their words don't stick. Their doubt doesn't hold weight. Their opinions don't pull you off your path. You start moving with a level of peace that comes from knowing who you are and what you're capable of. And when you believe in yourself long enough, something beautiful happens. The world eventually catches up. The opportunities arrive, the recognition appears, the blessings align. Not because the world finally chose you, but because you finally chose yourself. That's the real victory. That's the transformation. That's the power of self-belief as a weapon. It turns you into someone who doesn't wait for life to change. You change it, you create it, you command it. And once you get to that point, there's nothing on this earth that can stop you. Legacy over likes means choosing impact over attention, purpose over popularity, and long-term meaning over short-term validation. It's understanding that the world we live in is loud, fast, and hungry for approval. But you aren't here to be consumed. You're here to be remembered. You're here to build something that doesn't disappear when people get bored or move on to the next trend. You're here to create work, energy, and value that outlives the moment, outlives the hype, and outlives the noise. Most people chase likes because it's easy. It's immediate. It feeds the ego. It gives you a quick hit of feeling seen, even if it's empty attention. But legacy takes years. It takes discipline. It takes intention. It takes sacrificing recognition today for respect tomorrow. And that's why so few people chase it, because legacy requires patience and consistency, while likes only require a few seconds. Legacy isn't built on what you post, it's built on what you practice. It's built on how you move when nobody's watching. It's built on how you treat people, what you stand for, what you pour into the world, and what you refuse to compromise even when the pressure hits. Likes measure your reach, but legacy measures your roots, how deeply your work, your message, your presence touches lives long after you're gone. When you choose legacy, you stop playing the numbers game. You stop measuring your worth by views, followers, or reactions. You start focusing on authenticity, on growth, on contributing something real. You stop chasing popularity and start chasing purpose, because likes fade, algorithms change, people forget. But the impact you make on a soul, a mind, a generation, that stays, that spreads, that multiplies. And chasing legacy doesn't mean you never want recognition. It means you don't let recognition define you. You don't let the world's applause determine your direction. You move from inner conviction, not outside validation. You understand that greatness rarely gets celebrated in real time. Many people who changed the world were doubted, ignored, or misunderstood while they were building. Their legacy was recognized later, because legacy takes time to mature. Choosing legacy means choosing the harder road. It means saying no to shortcuts. It means resisting the urge to water down your truth just to fit what's trending. It means staying aligned with your principles even when it costs you attention. It means building something with value instead of building something with convenience. It means being rooted in who you are instead of bending to who the world wants you to be. There's a sudden peace that comes with prioritizing legacy. You stop feeling rushed. You stop comparing. You stop getting thrown off by temporary opinions. You focus on growth, impact, evolution. You start thinking bigger about community, about generations, about the people who will benefit from what you're creating long after you're no longer here to see it. That's real purpose. That's real power. Legacy also forces you to confront yourself. It makes you ask hard questions. What am I building? Who am I becoming? What will my life stand for? What will people remember when my name gets mentioned? Not what I own, not what I wore, not how many people like my pictures, but who I lifted, who I inspired, who I helped, who I impacted. Legacy makes you look beyond the moment and see the bigger picture. And the truth is, you don't need millions of followers to leave a legacy. You just need intention. You need heart. You need consistency. You need courage to live a life that stands for something real. Every seed you plant, every person you inspire, every idea you bring to life, it adds to the story you'll leave behind. Life might make you feel seen today, but legacy makes you remember forever. One fades the moment people scroll past you. The other stays, grows, and becomes part of something bigger than you. So choose the path that lasts. Choose the path that matters. Choose to build something worth remembering. Because at the end of the day, the world won't celebrate how many likes you got. It'll celebrate the lives you touched, the truth you stood on, the work you built, and the impact you left behind. That's what real success looks like. That's what real greatness feels like. And that's the kind of life worth running for.